What's up and what's happening, everybody? My name is Brandon. Today, I'm going to coach you through this Evolve System WOD, functional twist on traditional strength training using a single kettlebell. The style of workout in Evolve WODs is usually one of two types, either a combination of pushing, pulling, and swinging movements, or we separate those movements out onto separate days, depending on whether our week of training falls on a high or low volume cycle. This week, our Evolve System WOD will coincide with a high volume week of training, and therefore we will be performing 2 push, pull, swing sequences of movements. Let me break it down for you. Today's workout will begin with a repetition of the Turkish get-up on each side. From there, you'll be moving on to halo to goblet squats, 6 alternating repetitions, and you'll finish the sequence off with 15 repetitions of 2-arm kettlebell swings. Grab a moderate to heavy kettlebell and let's get focused. We're starting off with a repetition of the Turkish get-up on each side. In between each set of this sequence, you'll be given a brief 20-second rest period to get yourself situated and ready for the set to come. We'll be moving on to 6 repetitions of the halo to goblet squat for your next set. As is always the case with kettlebell swings, it's a good idea to chalk up your hands before getting started with the set so that you can maintain grip strength throughout the duration of the exercise. Further, as the workout progresses and your hands get sweaty and your grip strength starts to waver, the use of chalk will help to prevent any excess strain in your elbows, wrists, and forearms. In between each round of the sequence, you're going to be provided with a minute of rest before starting the next round. In this time, grab water if you need it, but continue to stay active in some capacity. Here at Momentum WOD, we call this fast and loose, and the purpose of doing so is to help to reduce strain on your heart throughout the course of a workout, to help prevent the buildup of excess lactic acid within your muscles, and to help to keep blood in circulation so you can remain powerful throughout the course of this Evolve System WOD. When performing the Turkish get-up, make sure that your arm is strong and stable throughout the entire movement. Stacking your joints in a vertical orientation at each step of the exercise will help to reduce any excessive strain on your body during heavy get-ups. The halo to goblet squat is an exercise that is built around controlling the midline of your body. During the halo and the goblet, make sure that your core is engaged, braced, and active to maintain control throughout the movement. While the two-arm swing is the most fundamental of ballistic kettlebell exercises, that doesn't mean that it's an easy exercise to master. If this movement is not one that you are intimately familiar with, regress it back to a kettlebell deadlift instead. The Turkish get-up is my personal favorite exercise for functional strength and stability. The get-up is a full body symphony of biomechanical efficiency that works just about everything. It promotes efficiency and power when transitioning from a lying to a standing position, which translates to powerful hip escapes, stable shoulders, and a strong core. The grip and positioning of the kettlebell during the halo to goblet squat is slightly different than that of a traditional goblet squat. The bell is in an inverted position and as a result will require more stabilization and control throughout the course of the movement. Furthermore, using a bell that you would typically use with a goblet squat may seem excessively heavy for this exercise. This next set of two-arm swings is going to be your last set of this sequence before an extended break. Let's access that posterior chain, brace the core, and be powerful for all 15 repetitions of this set. And that marks the end of your first sequence of this workout. Your second sequence will begin in 2 minutes, the details of which I'll fill you in at the 1 minute mark. The start of your second sequence will begin in 1 minute. The exercises in that sequence will be as follows. You'll begin with 5 repetitions of the windmill on each side, and then follow up with 10 alternating repetitions of the halo. From there, we'll move on to one-arm kettlebell swings with 10 repetitions on each side. Windmills are one of my favorite exercises, only second to the Turkish get-up. They're incredibly functional and will help you to develop shoulder stability, which will help to prevent injury, hip mobility, which is applicable in all facets of Jiu Jitsu performance, and core stability in a functional manner. These attributes will translate incredibly well to the development of your grappling prowess. With each repetition of the halo, be sure to alternate the direction that the bell circumnavigates the head in order to equally facilitate the mobility of each scapula. Your next set will be 10 repetitions of the one-arm swing on each side. This exercise is a progression of the two-arm swing which you performed earlier in this workout. If you're not proficient with one-arm swings, progress back to two-arm swings or even further back to deadlifts as we previously mentioned. How are you holding up so far? Getting towards the end of this workout, you're almost there, but we need you to stay focused and stick with us. You have a minute of rest before we start round 2 of sequence 2. When performing the windmill, it's important that you remember to work within your body's range of motion. Don't force it. This is more of an exercise of control than it is of strength. Kettlebell Halo is an excellent exercise to develop core power, stability, and endurance. The beauty of this exercise is that it helps to keep your spine in a neutral position, which negates the negative effects of repetitive spinal flexion that occurs with other less functional core exercises such as sit-ups and crunches. Alright, this is it, the home stretch. You have another minute of rest before we start the final sequence of this workout. Stay focused, stay committed, and let's finish this thing out strong. As with most kettlebell exercises, the motion of the kettlebell windmill is based upon hinging the hips. Send the hips back, lift and shift your back leg to spare the low back and maintain a neutral spine. Furthermore, add slight rotation of the thoracic spine during the descent to allow for fluidity of the movement. Part of the stabilization and muscular endurance that is tested with the halo arises from the lower extremities, particularly the glute and quadriceps musculature. In addition to maintaining a braced core, the quads and glutes should maintain contraction throughout each repetition. Alright, I'm proud of you. You have officially made it to the final set of this sequence. You have 20 repetitions of one-arm swings, 10 repetitions on each side, and then you are done. Let's make these 20 repetitions your best of this workout. Finish this thing out the way it was intended to be. Strong.